welcome to today's class of nuclear physics. So far we have already discussed something related to isotope, isobar, isotone, etc. And also we discussed the nuclear density, nuclear radius, mass of nucleus, etc. Atomic mass unit, etc. Now in the present scenario, in the present topic, in the present lecture, what we have to discuss that we say that nucleus is a very strong thing. It is a massive thing inside an atom. Massive thing means very strong thing. Okay, then that means this strength is derived from something that is called some forces, and that force we call as nuclear forces. And therefore today we will discuss nuclear forces and the properties of forces. Actually, nuclear force, when we say definition of that, it is very simple that it is the definition state that the force between the nucleon is called nuclear force, number one. It has many characteristics. Number one is it is a very, very strong force. It is much stronger than even electric force. It is even further stronger than gravitational force, and that means it is very strong. It is in fact a short range force. It cannot be held if we have a longer distance beyond nuclear capacity, beyond some Fermis. We cannot expect that. And there are many other things that is nuclear force is so strong that it can even overcome the proton repulsive force, Coulombian repulsion, etc. Let us see. Okay. Definition: it is a strong attractive force that binds the nucleons, means proton and neutrons, together inside a tiny compact nucleus. That means a very compact is, as you know, that nucleus itself is very compact thing. As far as this Rutherford's model is concerned, and we can very easily say that it is a very strong attractive force that binds the nucleons. It is the definition. What are the main properties? Number one, it is the strongest interactive force. Strongest force. It is strongest of all kinds of forces known in nature. It is strongest of all kinds of forces known in nature. That means whether it is mechanical force, that is gravitational force, whether it is nuclear, whether it is electrical force, magnetic force, etc. And that is why we have written this, that it is Fg means gravitational force, Fe means it is electrostatic force, and F1 is your nuclear force. You can see F1 is the strongest one. It is stronger than Fe, and Fe is further stronger than Fg. And the ratio between their magnitudes could be around 1 is to 10 to the power 36 is to 10 to the power 38. Nuclear and electrostatic forces have little difference in comparison to those of gravitational force and any other force. तो आपने देख लिया कि न्यूक्लियर फोर्स क्या है, बहुत ज़्यादा स्ट्रॉन्ग फोर्स है, और ये इतना स्ट्रॉन्ग फोर्स है कि जो कि नेचर में जितने टाइप का फोर्स जानते हैं, जो ग्रेविटेशनल फोर्स हो, इलेक्ट्रोस्टैटिक फोर्स हो, या मैग्नेटिक फोर्स हो, या न्यूक्लियर फोर्स हो, इन सब में सबसे स्ट्रॉन्ग होता है न्यूक्लियर फोर्स. ग्रेविटेशनल फोर्स और इलेक्ट्रोस्टैटिक फोर्स में लगभग 10 to the power 36 का रेशियो होता है, और आप समझ लीजिए कि ग्रेविटेशनल फोर्स और न्यूक्लियर फोर्स में 10 to the power 38 का रेशियो होता है. तो दिस इज व्हाट वी हैव द फर्स्ट थिंग. सेकेंड थिंग इज इट इज अ शॉर्ट रेंज फोर्स. ये ज़्यादा लॉन्ग डिस्टेंस में अवेलेबल नहीं होगा, कुछ फर्मीज में ये एक्टिव होगा, तो 2-3 फर्मीज में. इट कैन ऑपरेट ओनली अप टू शॉर्ट डिस्टेंस ऑफ 2-3 फर्मी. Okay, 10 to the power, Fermi means 10 to the power minus 15 meter. This much. Third one is charge independent. It is very important thing, charge independent. That means force between neutron is almost equal to force between neutron and proton. Although neutron both electrically neutral, and that is also equal, and here one is electropositive, other is electronegative. At the same time, I must tell you, it is also almost equal to the force between two protons also. I am right now I am ignoring the Coulombian repulsion. If I say that when something has to remain inside some parameter, जब किसी पैरामीटर के अंदर किसी ऑब्जेक्ट के अंदर किसी को रखना जरूरी है तो बाइंडिंग बहुत जरूरी है. तो ये बाइंडिंग कहाँ से आया? बाइंडिंग है कि स्ट्रॉन्ग न्यूक्लियर फोर्स होगा तभी इसमें बाइंडिंग आएगा. तो मैंने कह दिया न्यूट्रॉन टू न्यूट्रॉन एक अट्रैक्टिव फोर्स हुआ, उससे बाइंड हुआ. न्यूट्रॉन और प्रोटॉन के बीच अट्रैक्टिव फोर्स, जबकि इसमें चार्ज इंडिपेंडेंट हुआ क्योंकि एक तो इलेक्ट्रिक न्यूट्रल, एक दूसरे इलेक्ट्रिक पॉजिटिव. अब प्रोटॉन में रिपल्सन होता है, लेकिन ये सब इतना स्ट्रांग है कि प्रोटॉन रिपल्सन ऑलमोस्ट नेग्लिजिबल होता है. इसमें लिखा हुआ है FNN is almost equal to FNP, that is neutron proton, ये neutron. It does not depend on the charge पर डिपेंड नहीं करता. FPP repulsion is negligible in comparison to nuclear force. It is very important too. A very important point that proton to proton repulsive force is always negligible in comparison to nuclear force. तीसरा क्या है, चौथा क्या है? Spin dependent. A force between two nucleon with particles with particular spin, okay, is always greater than force between two nucleons with this is parallel and this is anti-parallel. I must tell you, this is your parallel and this is your anti-parallel. Therefore क्या लिखा? Force between two nucleons with parallel spin. Parallel spin is greater than force between two nucleons with anti-parallel spin. अब देखिए दोनों स्पिन जैसे एक जैसी पैरेलल स्पिन मैंने एक ही जैसे कर रहा है. जैसे ये अगर ऐसे कर रहा है तो ये भी ऐसे कर रहा है. ठीक है, you just see if this one is spinning like this, okay, then this is also spinning like this, and ये पैरेलल स्पिन हो गया. और एक ऐसे कर रहा है दूसरा उल्टा करे तो ये एंटी पैरेलल हो गया. तो ये फोर्स एंटी पैरेलल वाला फोर्स जो होगा इनके बीच, दो न्यूक्लियस के बीच, वो कम होता है. ये लिखा हुआ है द स्पिन डिपेंडेंट. ओके, दैट मीन्स फोर्स बिटवीन टू न्यूक्लियस विथ पैरेलल स्पिन. Force between two nucleons with parallel spin is always greater than the force between two nucleons with anti-parallel spin. ये एक जनरल आइडिया अबाउट न्यूक्लियस का, अबाउट न्यूक्लियर फोर्स का हो गया. अब न्यूक्लियर फोर्स के जब हम लोग रखते हैं तो आफ्टर दैट व्हाट वी नीड, वी हैव टू डिस्कस समथिंग लाइक mass defect. Mass defect is very important because with the effect of mass defect we can also find out the binding energy, and after knowing binding energy we can we can draw a binding energy curve with the at mass number. Then what we get, we can very easily analyze that curve, and by that we can explain fission and fusion. तो इस समय मैं फिशन फ्यूजन नहीं बता रहा हूँ, बाइंडिंग एनर्जी कर्व भी डिस्कस नहीं कर रहा हूँ, बट वी विल डेफिनेटली डिस्कस व्हाट इज द मास डिफेक्ट. द नेक्स्ट कॉन्सेप्ट इज मास डिफेक्ट. Next is mass defect. Then when we call mass defect, that it has very peculiar thing. One thing you know that suppose we can say that A is made up of B and C. Then what is expected? That the mass of A must be equal to the sum of mass of B and that of C. ये क्लियर होता है? अगर मैं एक बॉडी A है, उसका मास मुझे मालूम है A, और उसमें दो बॉडी अलग है, एक B और C. B का बॉडी है, B का मास है B और C का मास है C. तो हम लोग क्या कहेंगे? A इक्वल टू B प्लस C. सिंपली क्योंकि ये दुनिया में नेचर होता है कि एक बड़े चीज अगर दो पार्ट से मिलकर बना है तो दोनों पार्ट्स के अलग अलग मास हम लोग बड़े मास के इक्वल मान लेते हैं. बट when we call the same thing for nucleus, it is always found to be wrong. It is always observed that when we sum the when we get the sum of masses of nucleons for a particular nucleus, it is always larger than larger than the mass of original nucleus. Okay, and that is why we can just say that yes, this is how there is some sort of defect. There may be in the construction of nucleus, there have been some energy which is lost, and mass energy system can give us the idea that that loss of mass is called mass defect. I am again repeating what I have to say, that is the mass of nucleus is always less than the sum of masses of nucleons. That means mass of nucleus is Mn is less than mass of neutron plus mass of proton. Okay, this is what we have the general idea, and the difference will be called as mass defect. The mass defect is simply what we call Mn minus you cannot it is total mass, in fact total mass of nucleon. So it is total mass, sum of masses of nucleons, sum of total masses of nucleons. That means we can just make them like this, m dash n and n dash p. ये m dash n और m dash p क्या है? ये टोटल, अगर मान लीजिए 5 इसमें प्रोटॉन है तो 5 प्रोटॉन का 5 को मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे नंबर 1 प्रोटॉन के मास से, तो दैट बिकॉज m dash n. Similar m dash p. Similarly यहाँ पर m dash n लिखा हुआ है, तो m dash n means if we know the mass of neutron is mn and there are 6 neutron, then 6 into mn will be your mn dash, like this. तो यहाँ पर ये mn क्या है? This is generally the net mass of a nucleus. So that minus we can write this is a minus z. A minus z is the number of neutron into mass of single neutron mn plus mn क्या है? यहाँ पर ये mp क्या है? ये z है, total number of proton into mass of single proton. mn is mass of single neutron and mp is mass of single proton. तो ये आ जाएगा, and this is called mass defect. It is denoted by delta m. When delta m equal to mass defect, that is equal to this minus this. Actually, this must be considered to be negative. Why? Because we have already said this m dash n plus m dash p is greater than this, and therefore in general mass defect could be equal to a minus z mn z mp minus mn. This is positive. This is positive. I have taken negative sign. Why? Because we have already said that mn dash plus mp dash is always greater than mn. तो mn माइनस वही चीज मैं यहाँ पर लिख रहा हूँ, तो नेचुरली ये चीज तो नेगेटिव दिखाएगा. दैट इज व्हाई वी हैव दिस नेगेटिव साइन. एंड व्हेन वी हैव द एग्जैक्ट थिंग, देन दिस माइनस दिस. यानी कि A माइनस जेड एम एन प्लस जेड एम पी माइनस एम एन दिया जाएगा, यानी कि सम ऑफ न्यूक्लियन माइनस मास ऑफ न्यूक्लियस इज कॉल्ड योर मास डिफरेंस डेल्टा एम। क्लियर? डेल्टा एम हो गया। और डेल्टा एम जब हम लोग निकाल लेंगे तो अब इसको अगर मैं डेल्टा एम डिवाइडेड बाई नंबर ऑफ न्यूक्लियंस हम कर दें, टोटल नंबर ऑफ न्यूक्लियंस, okay, then what we get? We can get a packing fraction, and that is a very rarely used term, but that is also very very important. Sometimes we call it as packing fraction. Packing fraction. Packing fraction equal to delta m upon A. That means mass defect upon total number of nucleons. टोटल नंबर ऑफ न्यूक्लियंस क्या होता है? आपका मास नंबर होता है A, ओके, एंड मास डिफेक्ट इज डेल्टा एम, तो डेल्टा एम अपॉन A इज कॉल्ड पैकिंग फ्रैक्शन। क्लियर? तो इस टाइप के आपने देख लिया मास डिफेक्ट क्या है। यू हैव आल्सो सीन व्हाट इज योर अदर थिंग लाइक न्यूक्लियर फोर्सेस, नेचर ऑफ न्यूक्लियर फोर्सेस, प्रॉपर्टीज ऑफ न्यूक्लियर फोर्सेस। अब ये समझ लीजिए कि व्हेन वी कॉल दैट why this mass defect actually takes place? It takes place due to packing region. Packing region means there must be some sort of energy that is lost in combining the nucleon inside a nucleus. That means what we have, that is, in order to maintain proper stability, some energy is required. And that energy is called nuclear binding energy. Okay, and how we determine that nuclear binding energy? It is just the energy equivalent of this mass defect, what we call energy equivalent of mass defect is called binding energy. Okay, we will discuss binding energy in the next phase, in the next lecture, along with the binding energy curve, so that by means of that curve, by analyzing that curve, we can very easily determine that how stable some nucleus when its mass number is around 50 or 56 like this. For example, iron, and how unstable it is when its mass number is very large, just like uranium, etc., or it is very less. In one case, when it is very large, nuclear fission takes place, and when it is very less, then nuclear fusion takes place. These are the two things which are comparative with each other. That all those things will be discussed only once we discuss the nuclear energy curve or binding energy curve. With that, we will take it in next lecture, and this is all about our lecture 3 matter. Thank you.